Okay, so I'm re-recording the assignment reviews because the first time I did it, the audio quality was not so good. So I'm just going to go through everything. So this first submission is from Bor. So first we asked them to write what's the traits of the ideal client and what's the traits of clients from hell. Okay, then we are going to talk about what are the beliefs of a low income copywriter versus somebody who is a high income copywriter, and what are the takeaway lessons, right? So yep. So let's get started right away. So the traits of a ideal client is to provide as much information as possible. Um, I don't okay, anyway, let's just read the whole thing. Is willing to fill in an audience questionnaires or participate in strategy calls. Has an idea of numbers on top of his head. So let's just break this down into a few parts. Um, the reason why I don't fully agree on this is because let's say you're a copywriter, unless you're writing for a agency that specialize in copywriting, very hard for you to get a lot of information because most business owners, they don't really know their target market that well. They do not know the target audience that well. They probably don't do a lot of research, so getting a lot of information is gonna be a bit hard. And this is the reason why nowadays I do not let my prospect or clients fill out audience questionnaires. I usually jump on a strategy call. Okay, so 100% agree with the strategy call. If a client is don't see the value of jumping on a strategy call, do not if a client do not is unwilling to meet up with you to discuss more about the project, then it's definitely not an ideal client. Okay, if they expect you to do everything on your own without I mean, if you're new, you just started working together and they expect you to do everything on your own, they are not giving participating in discussions or strategy discussions, so that's not really a good client. All right. So have numbers on top of the head. This is it's very hard because most of the people, they if you ask them, do they know about their customers? Do they know their customers? They'll tell you yes. Almost no business owner will tell you, hey, I don't know my customers. But when you ask them some questions, you know this person doesn't know their customers. Everybody will think they know their customers until we start asking them important questions like, what have your customers tried? What do they need to believe to trust you? What did they try in the past that didn't work? Why is this time different? Questions like this, they probably have no idea. Okay, drive traffic. Now, 100%, this I agree. If you are in copywriting, marketing, if you are writing emails, if you are creating landing pages, if you are creating ads, 100%. Your work is not valuable if they do not drive traffic. So yes, this I 100% agree. It's actively growing. Yes. If you are a copywriter, you want ideally you want clients who are always looking to grow. Because I mean, as much as my clients learn from me, I also learn from them. Um, so yeah, this is a sign of you are working with a winner, um, and they have the growth mindset. Has an offer that's working. Yes, this is something that I really believe. It's something from what I learned from Dan Lok. Very, I mean, I wish I learned this earlier. He says, we are in the business of help. We're not in the business of trying to turn losers into winners. We are in the business of trying to help winners win more. Okay, so if the only reason that they get you on board, they ask for your help, is because they're so desperate. The business is going to go bankrupt in 2 or 3 months, then it's a you need to do so much. There's a lot of things that are wrong. You need to fix a lot of things. So, and I'm saying, I don't want to do that. So yeah, ideally somebody's offer, they're already making money. You're there to help them to optimize. That would be the ideal situation. Okay, value their time. Yes. This is another one of those questions that is similar to provide as much information as possible because I haven't met somebody who says, yeah, actually, I'm not delegating. Everybody will tell you they're delegating. But if you work with them a little, you will find out not most people don't know how to communicate and don't know how to delegate well. Um, Value their own time. Yeah, this can be just you can discover this by, hey, why don't you try to do this yourself? There's a lot of YouTube videos on how to write an email or how to do a landing page, how to create an ad. Why don't you do it yourself? Okay. So yeah, that's this I actually I agree. Okay. It's just maybe the way we ask it, it's not this way. So traits from client from hell: don't respond in detail within 24 hours. It's unlikely you're going to get a client who knows how to respond in detail because if we are copywriters or marketers, generally the level of detail we have is going to be a lot, and most people are not capable of answering in detail. All right, but that being said, if once you submit the work, they say, yeah, I took a look at it. Let me. I mean, I'm occupied for these few days. I'll take a look at it in a weekend. It's still okay, you know. But sometimes it's unrealistic to expect them to immediately review it, and sometimes this is an upsell opportunity. A lot of the times the clients they buy a landing page, they buy an ad, they buy something from you, but they don't really know how to use it. And this is where, as a freelancer, you can come into upsell consultation, like how to apply this, how do you implement a split test, what does the numbers mean, stuff like that. Isn't growing the list? Yeah, this is the red flag. If you're in email marketing, they're not growing their list. It's a sign of this is somebody who is probably someone you don't want to stay with for a long time. Think my service is a magic bullet. Absolutely. A lot of people, this I will just say for my experience. Initially, I work with too many people who the main reason that they buy my service is because they expect me to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Those are, I mean, occasionally you can do it. You can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but why put this amount of pressure on yourself, right? Revenue has been going down for months. This depends. There are many reasons why the revenue is going. So this is like a yellow flag. I wouldn't say it's a red flag. But yeah, generally, if somebody is the revenue is going down, I think yeah. Most of the time I'll be very cautious. But if let's say you are a new freelancer, uh, this might not be a deal breaker, but it certainly is like just be a bit cautious with this. Be a bit cautious as in get paid upfront. Don't depend on them as your only client and stuff like that. It's doing everything on their own. Yep, this is 100%. Isn't doing self-improvement at all. 100%. If the business owner isn't attending at least one course about sales, marketing, leadership, at least once a year, then it's probably this is not a person that you want to stick with for a long time. Now, how we ask this question is very important because if you ask the business owner or your prospect, hi, do you do any self-improvement? They'll always tell you yes, because what self-improvement means, it means very different things for different people. All right. So for them, they're losing some weight. They can consider that as self-improvement. It's a bit exaggerating, but you'll be surprised how many people actually told me that. And if you ask them like, are you taking any courses about digital marketing? Because I need you to have some fundamental knowledge before I work on your ads. They'll be like, yes, I'm learning digital marketing. I took a course 5 years ago. I took a course 3 years ago. Or even better, I studied marketing in college. Okay. Those are people that, yeah. Now, I have a saying, if your client is bad, it's not your fault. Okay, because we can try our best to filter people, but sometimes we don't always get to filter people, and especially for when we start out, we are a bit desperate. I understand that, so we sometimes take on people. We work with people we're not supposed to work with, and this is where I have a quote like, if your client is bad, it's not your problem, but If after 3 years you're still with the bad client, then that's your problem. Okay, because you did not do any prospecting, you must be not doing something. You must be not looking for improving yourself and actively looking to trade up, work with better people. Okay, so what does a low income copywriter believe? I get to charge more just by getting better at doing the work. Okay, this is a very common thing. I'm guilty about this as well. When I started, I have no track record, so I can't charge higher rates. Yep, this is a belief that held me back a lot in my early days. I can't talk to quality leads. Yeah, they believe that the good clients will not want to talk with them because they do not have track record to prove their experience. They have no proof. Yeah, these are the things they believe. Oh, this is a good one. I'll start prospecting once I have more experience. If you have no experience, how the hell are you supposed to? If you don't prospect, how are you supposed to have experience? So that doesn't work. All right, but I can see why people believe that. I should stay here for a few months before moving on to a next client. I'll say prospecting is a constant work. That doesn't mean do it every day. That means every month you should have some activities about prospecting. Okay, prospecting, there are many ways to do it. Some it's like cold email, some it's networking, some it's just putting content on social media. There are many ways to do it, but every month some time has to be allocated here. Okay. So what are the habits? We continue to work with client from hell for months. Yes, and this is why the first exercise was actually to identify what are the clients from hell. So you know that if you are in one, if your client check a few points, then probably good idea to not continue. Get distracted from temptations all the time. Oh my god, this is me. In fact, for a few years, because I don't know where's the direction, should I go, who should I listen to, and stuff like that. Yep. So feel good about my career, but took little action. I forgot what he meant by this. Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend. Procrastinate on client work because I like good ideas. Yeah. If you find yourself procrastinating, for whatever reason, then it's a imposter syndrome thing, and it's a very common habit for for freelancers who are struggling. Work on non-vital tasks that make little impact on my business. Okay, so we have a term for this. It's called doing low-income activities, mowing your lawn, washing the dishes, because it repairing the repairing the furniture, or because it's a man thing to do or it's a woman thing to do, stuff like that. Okay, so uh, doing things that doesn't isn't high impact, low income activities. Yep. So those are the habits. So what does a struggling freelancer, what do they not do? Start the day with lead generating related tasks. Yes and no. Frankly, I don't spend that much time on lead generation, to be honest. Okay. Provide thoughtful comments to posts. This is only true if your strategy is 100% on social media, right? Because frankly, I don't do this as well. I mean, when I network, yes, in places where I can provide comments, I used to do that. Not so much nowadays because I find it's not a very leverage activity for me. Okay. Seek help from coaches and mentors. Yep. This was actually one of the. Uh, it's not like I don't want to seek help initially, but I don't know who to listen to. Ask stupid questions to improve and ask better questions. Yes. The reason why you should be asking stupid questions is because you only know what is a smart question, good question, after asking enough stupid questions. All right. So set boundary to play a sustainable and iterable game. This is, I think what he means is able to set boundaries to with clients to don't have the overly want to please client kind of mindset. I think that's what he means. Okay, so if you have enough, you don't overcommit yourself on one project. It's more sustainable. You don't burn out, and you have more time to work on other projects. Okay, so what does a high-income copywriter or freelancer do? Work with a few good clients. Yes. Invest time in clients who are willing to implement. Yes, speed of implementation is something very important for me because I don't want the work that I do to just sit there and just collect dust. It's very annoying, it's very demotivating, and it's like, yeah, why should I try so much to help you, right? It's not about how I execute, it's about how fast I execute. Yes. Wanting to get everything perfect, want to do everything have the best preparation, wait for everything to be correct, then only you start. It's a sign of low confidence. It's a sign of procrastination. Yeah, so that is something actually I have to overcome because I tend my personality. I like to plan a lot. I like to make everything quote unquote perfect before I push it out and implement it. But I mean, I managed to overcome this. Nowadays, I think I push things out quite quickly. Complacency is the reason why huge advantage. Why it's a huge advantage to have good work ethic. I think just believe to have a good ethic. I don't understand this part. I have a moral obligation to ask for it that make people gasp. Okay. The way it's phrased, let me just rephrase this. Why we believe this is because if we do not, okay, it's a simple way of saying, if I don't close you, I can't help you. If you do not close a client for a high fee, it's very hard for you to go do whatever it takes to help the person. Okay, so sometimes when we ask the fees, how much we are charging, it makes people feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel uncomfortable when you're asking it, and I think that's where make people gasp like, what, you charge 10,000? I think that's where that comes from. Now, if I don't charge what I believe I need to help to be charging to be able to help you, then if you're not going to get the result, then we are both wasting time. And that's why I believe the work I do has to be able to do this level of work to have a good impact. I need to be charging this amount. Okay, so this is what we believe. Okay, so write every day, no excuse. Yes, I agree. If you are a copywriter, you should be writing something every day. Start the day by generating future revenue. Money tomorrow and lead gen. Okay, I think I can sort of agree with this. Maybe not every day, but it has to be in the calendar. Finish at least 3 hours of deep work when people just woke up. I don't know what is deep work, so I'm sorry. Go to bed and wake up same time every day. I will think I agree with this. Especially as I grow older. I value predictable and quality sleep much more nowadays compared to my younger days. Hopping on call with the intention of saying no. I don't think it's intention. I think it's um we're not afraid to say no. That being said, we mostly say no to people because most people are not a good fit for us. So it's not like the intention is saying no. That is just a practice or a homework that we give. Uh, it's always there's a phrase called high intention but low attachment. So our intention when we hop on a call, a discovery call, a strategy call, my intention is 100% to help the person. I mean, after the call with me, they should be clearer what they should be doing. They should have a better idea what they should be doing, what they should stop doing, or what is the next step. Okay, that is the thing that I promise. Um, I don't hop on a call with the intention of saying no. My intention is always to help them to get to the next step. Okay, so I think there's a little misinterpretation here. So don't get distracted by social media and messages. Oh, okay, I think I know what deep work means. Deep work means he's getting in the flow and yeah. So yes, in fact, I haven't checked Facebook for quite a long time, and I usually do not check my phone when a message comes in. I check my phone when I want to, not because somebody texts me on WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever it is. It used to be when somebody sent me a message, I feel the urge to check it immediately. But yeah, I'm glad to say I overcome that. Hopping on calls with an order taker mindset instead of problem solving. Okay. Uh, yeah. This is I mean, this terminology is a little like it need to be uh, this is a little bit of our jargon, but yeah, 100% I agree with this. If we are just doing whatever we are being told to do, it's very hard to charge. It's very hard to make a big impact in your client's business or life, and it's very hard to. I mean, when you can't make a big impact, you're not going to charge a lot of money. Your work is not going to worth a lot. Be worth a lot. Do nothing until clients tell me what to do. Yes and no. Anyway, focus too much on copywriting instead of closing. Um, not really. Actually, I spend most of my time and focus on delivering. I don't spend that much time on closing. Unless I'm looking for a new client, then I'll be speaking with a lot of people, doing a lot of prospecting and filtering. But once I'm not in the hunting mood, and if once my calendar is already filled, actually I spend more of my time doing the work instead of closing. So number four, I don't agree. Put my best interest on top of others in a business setting. Okay, so this I can summarize it with two things. One is being selfish, and the other is self-serving. No matter what, we don't want to be selfish, but in a business setting, we should be self-serving. If you can't help yourself, you can't help other people. Uh, Self-serving doesn't mean you're selfish. Self-serving is the same thing as during a plane as an emergency, you pull down the air mask, you know, you give yourself the oxygen before you help others put on their air mask oxygen, whatever that thing is called. All right, so if you don't save yourself, you can't help others. Okay, so I think that is the way to put it. Maybe not this. Okay, so finally, what how is you going to implement this? Cold outreach, content creation, follow-up. Cold outreach, content creation, pick one. Don't try to do everything. Focus during deep work session. Turn off messaging and hide my phone. Yes, I agree. I agree. Visit co-working space at least once a week. Whatever works for you. I don't visit co-working space because I have quite a good environment at home. I mostly work. It used to be very funny. It used to be I go out if I want to get work done, then I will leave my house and I'll go out and work. But nowadays, those days was because my home environment, the place that I rent, the environment is not conducive. But this new place where I'm operating it, I design it, I furnish it in a way that it's more like an office instead of a home. So I'm actually more productive when I'm here. Yeah, the library, the likes, and all of this. So I'm actually more productive when I'm sitting here. So I find that it's very good because I don't need to go out for the sake of going out. Sorry, I don't need to go out for the sake of I need to get this thing done, so I need a good environment. Because now the good environment is already here. So I go out because I want to go out. Yeah. So always put the client's best interest in mind. Yes, this is 100%. I agree. And sometimes the client's interest, for us to be giving them the best advice, sometimes the advice doesn't benefit us. But most people will know that. All right, it's like you guys shouldn't be using, for example, for my case, I think you guys shouldn't be using Google Ads because seems like your core audience is on Instagram. You already built this page, like why are you like diverting your attention towards Google Ads? Even though I don't do Instagram, I actually focus on Google. So actually I said that, and actually I got quite a lot of respect for that, because it's like, yeah, actually you're telling it as it is. You're showing us why the numbers work, why it makes sense to focus on what is working. Um, why is it best to just put the attention and resources on the best converting, uh, the best converting channel. So yeah, this sometimes it just is not it's not because of my work. It's just because of the channel I choose to. It's not the best for that situation. But they always like, currently we can see that this is not the best thing, but we'll be keeping the door open. When it makes sense to use this tool, use this channel, we'll contact you. So yeah, 100%. Ask a lot of stupid questions to improve. Yes, I agree. Okay, and this is the quick review for one assignment submission. I think it took longer than I thought. So if you made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching, and hope you got some value out of this. And I'll see you in the next video.